How's it going, y'all? This is Ryan De La Garza here. We got another Desmos build along. And in this one, we're going to look at some of the math language routines, specifically number 8, and we're going to look at word banks and how do we bring word banks into our activities to support students as they're kind of working through their answers. So if we look at what we have here in kind of the final version, what we have a problem graph, and we want students to describe the rate of change. But we have this button that says help me get started. And when I click that, we have, well, you might use words like increase and change and correlate and those types of things. So this is a great way to kind of get the wheels turning for students, help them get unstuck and start. And notice they can say, okay, I've got this, and I can take it away and finish off that piece, right? We've also done it with that button. What's nice is we put it in a sense where, like Dan Meyer says, you can always add, but you can never take away, right? So students aren't starting out with that. They're able to have their own thoughts, but then they can jump in and see that as they need the support. So how do we do this? Let's dive in and let's see. So if you want to build along with me, remember, you can find a link to this activity in the description, so you can jump on in screen 1 and follow along with me as I'm building in screen 2. And then screen 3 has some detailed notes for what we did in the computation layer, so you can go back and reference those as you need to. So let's check this out. So I have described my rate of change, and this is just the problem itself. If I look at this, so I have nothing extra going on here, just my text input that I can kind of type in as I need to. So first thing I need to do is I need to add an action button, because that's what's making everything tick here. So I'm going to come over and add my button component, and I'm going to put that below the text box. And with that, I'm just going to put in my label is just help me get started. And that's what's going to keep it going. Remember, action buttons are little timers. So as soon as that's pressed, a timer is going to kick off and start rolling, and that's what's actually going to make it all work. I'm also going to title this. I'm going to title it Action 2 or Act 2 because I'm on the second screen. So that's what I'm going to use here. Now, to make my word bank, we're going to come into the computation layer. And I'm going to title this right here, word bank equals, and this is where we're going to put our word bank. So I'm going to create a variable called word bank. And we're going to say like increase, decrease, changes by, correlates, right? And we can add whatever words we wanted to put there, but I'm just going to stop there for the example. You can add whatever you want after this, and this is now our word bank variable here. So we can call that up. What's nice is now we don't have to add that to our text, but it's a nice, easy thing that you can change later on. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to make another variable called support, and this is what's actually going to be called out into that note, and this is going to contain the text. But I only want that to display when the button is pressed. So here's what we need to do. I'm going to say when act2 dot timeSincePress is greater than 0, this is what we're going to have for our text. You might use words like ... and then I'm going to use a little trick, \n. What that does is that creates a new line, so that's the equivalent of like pressing enter. So now I'm going to insert my word bank variable. So anytime I want to take a variable from somewhere else in the script and input it into text, I need to do this, $, open curly bracket. I'm going to use my word bank variable, close the curly bracket, and then put that close quotation mark, right? Then we're going to say otherwise I want to keep it blank. Okay, I'm actually going to throw one backslash or double backslash in here as well. So that's going to add it. I'll show you how that works. So let's zoom in on what we did here. So I created a variable called support, and I said support whenever act2 timeSincePress is 0. So essentially what that's saying is whenever my button has been pressed, because that timer is going to start as soon as I press that button. Once that button is pressed, I want this support variable to contain this text. So it's going to say you might use words like, and then it's going to put my word bank. And remember, those \ns are like enters, right? So it's like it's a new return line. So I'm going to put that down. So it's going to be you might use words like, and then my word bank is going to pop up. If that button has not been pressed, it's just going to be blank, right? So that's what we did here in our text with our word bank piece. So now let's pull that out into the note, right? So since I have those new lines, I can just put it right at the end of this, and I'm going to insert a value from the computation layer, and I'm going to insert support. So now if I preview, see there's nothing, but as soon as I press the button, boom, you might use words like increase, decrease, and there's our word bank. I can click it and it pops up. Now, what if I want it to go away, right? How did I get that? Okay, I got this piece. So let's hop back into our action button down here, and we're going to put reset label, okay, comma, I got this. Boom, close quotations. Now that's going to give me an option to reset it. So when I turn it on, there it is. Okay, I got this. It turns off. And so that's how we can add those word banks to our activities. So if you have any other questions on this, please feel free to put it in the comments so we can help you out. And thank you guys so much for watching, and happy Desmosing.